So in the previous lecture, we discussed the favorable conditions for the formation of ionic bond. For formation of cation, atom should have large atomic size, low ionization potential or high electropositivity, low charge on ion, and electronic configuration. Similarly, for formation of anions, small atomic size, low charge on ion, high electronegativity or electronaffinity. This is for anion and these are for cation. So generally speaking, ionic bond is formed from ionic bond is formed between atom with low ionization potential, large atomic size, and atom with high electron affinity or electronegativity. Here you can take EP also, electropositivity, and small atomic size. So generally ionic bond is formed between two atoms. One should have low ionization potential or high electropositivity, large atomic size or high electron affinity, atom with high electron affinity or electronegativity and small atomic size. One atom should have tendency to lose electrons. Tendency to lose electron. Another atom should have tendency to gain electrons. Tendency to gain electrons. Generally, ionic bond is formed between a metal atom and a non-metal atom because metal atom has strong tendency to lose electrons, non-metal atom has strong tendency to gain electrons. So metal atom form cation readily, non-metal atom readily form anion. Okay, next. Another important point is if you consider the periodic table, S block elements, you leave hydrogen because it is neither electronegative and ionization potentials are intermediate between the S block and P block elements. So S block elements you take alkali metals and alkaline earth metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Similarly, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. S block elements are highly electropositive and have low ionization potential values. In D block also metals are there. See, what is the important difference between D block metals and S block metals? S block metals are highly reactive. D block metals are less reactive. S block metals have low ionization potential and high electropositivity, whereas D block elements have high ionization potentials and less electropositivity. So S block elements have more tendency to lose electrons. Next, in the P block elements, you remember these: nitrogen, phosphorus in 15th group, and oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium in 6th group, and in 7th group, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Now, in S block elements, lithium, beryllium, and in P block elements, mainly iodine, tellurium, selenium. So generally, ionic bond is formed between S block elements like sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium, rubidium, strontium, cesium, barium, nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So in those compounds, ionic bond is present, generally speaking. Okay. For example, sodium, you take sodium phosphide, K2, K2O2, K2O, Na2O2, sodium sulfide, potassium sulfide, cesium chloride, cesium chloride, cesium bromide, sodium chloride, sodium bromide. So these are ionic compounds. Properties of ionic compounds. Number one, physical state. Almost all ionic compounds are crystalline solids. Number two, ionic compounds have high MPBP values. MP melting point, BP boiling point. See, just recall the definition of ionic bond. Ionic bond is nothing but strong electrostatic force of attraction between oppositely charged ions. See, in chemistry, we have various types of force of attractions between the chemical species. The species may be atom or molecule or ion, whatever it may be. See, if you consider positive and negative ions, there exists electrostatic force of attraction. Between molecules, there exists force of attraction. They are intermolecular forces of attractions. These intermolecular forces of attractions are various types. They are dipole, 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 ion, dipole, ion. Next, hydrogen bond, it is also weak electrostatic force of attraction. This we will discuss in the chemical bonding last topic, hydrogen bond. So like that, van der Waals forces of attractions. Generally these exist in the between the molecules in gaseous state, liquid state and solid state. London forces, these forces of attractions exist between noble gases. So, of all these forces of attractions, electrostatic force of attraction is very strong. So, to convert the crystalline solid into liquid, into vapor, whatever be the force of attraction that exists between positively charged ion, negatively charged ion should undergo cleavage. So when there is a cleavage or when there forces of attractions break, then the positively charged ions and negatively charged ions get separated, then converted to liquid state. After that, matter converts into vapor state. So to convert or to separate positively charged ion and negatively charged ion, it requires large amount of heat energy because the force of attraction between positively charged ion and negatively charged ion is very high. So that is why ionic compounds have high melting point and boiling point values. Third one, regarding solubility. See, ionic compound contains cation, positively charged ion, negatively charged ion. Therefore, ionic compounds are considered as polar compounds. Polar compounds. See, there is a principle in solubility. Like dissolves like. So, therefore, ionic compounds are soluble only in polar solvents like water. So, NaCl ionic compound MgCl2, right? Na2S, ammonium sulfide, right? So these are readily soluble in water because they are polar compounds and readily soluble in water, right? Because water is a polar solvent. Water is a polar solvent. Now, see, here I want to give one clarity. These are soluble in water, but some compounds like AgCl, AgBr, AgI. So in AgCl also Ag plus Cl minus, AgBr, Ag plus Br minus, Ag plus I minus. These are ionic compounds. Not only that, BaCO3 for example, Ba2 plus CO3 2 minus, barium carbonate, barium sulfate, BaSO4, Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus. Okay, these are also ionic compounds. They are insoluble in water, or you can say they are sparingly soluble salts. So why these are insoluble in water or sparingly soluble in water, I will explain in the lecture, okay, after completion of this topic. So regarding solubility, we have to write ionic compounds are polar compounds, and there is a principle in solubility, light dissolves in light. So therefore polar compounds, being polar compounds, ionic compounds are soluble in polar solvents like water. Now number 4, ionic compounds are good electrolytes. Ionic compounds are good electrolytes. What is electrolyte? Any substance which allows electricity to pass through it is called electrolyte. Why are ionic compounds good electrolytes? Because in ionic compound in the solid state, positively charged ion, negatively charged ion are closely packed. So that means these positively and negatively charged ions are in fixed positions. Fixed positions, and they cannot move. They cannot move. Therefore, in the solid state, they are not electrolytes, they are insulators. They are insulators. Whereas ionic compounds in the molten state, in the aqueous solution, molten state, see for example Na plus, Cl minus, so they move freely because electrostatic force of attraction that exists between Na plus and Cl minus is not there in the liquid state. Electrostatic force of attraction exists only in the solid state. So they get separated in the liquid state. Liquid state, molten state, fused state, they are one and the same. Molten state, fused state, liquid state, they are one and the same. So in the liquid state, molten state, fused state, oppositely charged ions move freely, therefore conduct electricity. In aqueous solution, because what is aqueous solution? Solution in which water acts as solvent. So ionic compounds are readily soluble in water, right? So those solutions are called aqueous solutions. In aqueous solutions also ions move freely. So therefore these are good conductors of electricity in the aqueous solution. So ionic compounds are good electrolytes in molten state and in aqueous solution also. What is the reason for this? In molten state or in aqueous solutions, ions move freely. So due to the movement of oppositely charged ions, free movement of oppositely charged ions, ionic compounds are good electrolytes in molten state. Number 5. Reactions between ionic compounds reaction between ionic compounds is very fast, or you can say instantaneous. Instantaneous. So that means reaction will finish in a fraction of minute. In a fraction of minute. Why the reaction between ionic compounds is very fast? Now see, for example, if aqueous solution of NaCl is added to aqueous solution of AgNO3, then AgCl is precipitated and NaNO3 is in the solution. See, to understand this, if NaCl solid is dissolved in water, we will get aqueous solution of NaCl. And aqueous solution of NaCl contains aqueous Na plus ions and aqueous Cl minus ions. Similarly, AgNO3 solid is dissolved in water, then we will get aqueous solution of AgNO3. Now, aqueous solution of AgNO3 contain aqueous Ag plus ions and aqueous NO3 minus ions. Now, see, if these two solutions are mixed together, then we will get AgCl solid. So that means when two solutions are mixed together, if a solid is separated, from the mixture of the solutions, then it is called precipitate. It is called precipitate. So what is precipitate? It is nothing but a solid substance formed when two solutions are mixed together, right? So here AgCl is precipitated and NaNO3 they are present in the solution. Okay. Now, aqueous solution of NaCl contains aqueous Na plus ions and aqueous Cl minus ions. Aqueous solution of AgNO3 contains aqueous Ag plus ions, aqueous NO3 minus ions. To give AgCl solid and NaNO3 solution contains aqueous Na plus ions and aqueous NO3 minus ions. So, there is no change in case of Na plus and NO3, right? So, I am cancelling because they are spectator ions. So, there is no chemical change among those species. Now, the net equation is Ag plus in the solution, Cl minus ions in the solution combined to give AgCl solid. This is the net equation involved in the reaction. So, it is the reaction between oppositely charged ions. There exists a strong electrostatic force of attraction between oppositely charged ions. Therefore, they readily combine to form compound. So, that is why the reaction between ionic compounds is very fast. Next, the last point is ionic compounds do not exhibit isomerism. What is isomerism? Why ionic compounds do not exhibit isomerism? Why covalent compounds exhibit isomerism? I will explain you in covalent bond topic. So generally, ionic bond is a non-directional bond. Non-directional bond. So has no direction. So that is why ionic compounds do not exhibit isomerism. Covalent bond is a directional bond. So covalent compounds exhibit isomerism. So I will explain the covalent bond characteristics in covalent bond formation. Okay. So here we are in stage learning properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds generally exist in crystalline solids or crystalline solid state. Ionic compounds have high MPPP values. Next, ionic compounds readily soluble in polar solvents like water. Ionic compounds are good electrolytes in molten state or in fused state and also in the aqueous solution. Reactions between ionic compounds are very fast, instantaneous. Ionic compounds do not exhibit isomerism. Ionic bond is a non-directional bond. So these are the important characteristic properties of ionic compounds. Now see, no compound is 100% ionic. See, generally ionic bond is formed between atom with low ionization potential and atom with high electronegativity. So in periodic table, atom with low ionization potential is cesium, first group element, and atom with high electronegativity is fluorine. So cesium fluoride must possess a maximum ionic character. So cesium fluoride is not 100% ionic compound. 100% ionic, not 100% ionic. So even cesium fluoride is not 100% ionic compound, not 100% ionic bond. Then what about the remaining compounds, remaining ionic compounds like sodium fluoride, magnesium fluoride, potassium bromide? All these are less ionic than cesium fluoride, is it not? So there is no ionic compound with 100% ionic character. That is important point. So every ionic compound, every ionic compound, every ionic compound possesses covalent character. Covalent character. Covalent character in ionic compound explained by Fajn. He proposed some rules. Those rules are known as Fajn's rules. So Fajn's rules explain the covalent character in ionic compounds. Clear? See, for example, this is a smaller cation. Large anion. So when a small cation and a large anion approach each other, then the positively charged ion, see, it is having small volume, therefore charge density is very high. Charge density is high. Clear? So due to this, it attracts the electrons which are present in the outermost orbit towards it. Due to this, anion gets or anion is deformed or deformation takes place. Deformation of anion takes place. This phenomenon of attraction of electrons which are present in the anion by a smaller cation is called polarizing power. Polarizing power. See, polarizing power is nothing but the phenomenon of attraction of attracting electrons which are present in the outermost orbit of anion towards a cation is called, towards itself is called polarizing power. Similarly, larger anion undergo deformation undergo deformation. Actually, it is having circular shape, but now the shape is changed due to polarization of anion. See, this is called polarizability. Polarizability of anion. So, due to polarizing power of cations and polarizability of anions, every ionic compound possesses covalent character. So, this polarizing power of cation and polarizability of anion explained by Fajan in the form of Fajan's rules. So, Fajan's rules explain the covalent character of ionic compounds. Now, according to Fajan's rules, smaller the cation, higher the polarizing power. Higher the polarizing power. Higher the polarizing power, more will be the covalent character. More will be the covalent character. See, here you can understand in another way. As size of cation decreases, covalent character increases. See, for example, in first A group, Li plus, Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. This is order of size. Order of size. Therefore, Li plus more than, Na plus more than, K plus more than, Rb plus more than, Cs plus. This is order of covalent character. Order of covalent character. So, LiCl lithium chloride, NaCl sodium chloride, KCl potassium chloride, RbCl rubidium chloride, CsCl cesium chloride. Now, order of covalent character. See, in all these compounds, Cl minus is the anion. Therefore, covalent character does not depend on Cl minus. So, covalent character depends on cation. In LiCl, cation is Li plus. Similarly, NaCl, Na plus, potassium chloride, K plus, rubidium chloride, Rb plus, cesium chloride, cesium plus. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, they are present in the same group. In a group, from top to bottom, size of the cation increases. So therefore, as size of the cation increases, covalent character decreases. So therefore, LiCl is more covalent than NaCl, more covalent than KCl, more covalent than RbCl, more covalent than cesium chloride. So remember, LiCl is covalent compound insoluble in water but readily soluble in alcohol, ether, so on and so forth. This is order of covalent character. Clear? Number 2. As size of the anion increases, as the size of the anion increases, polarizability increases. Hence, covalent character increases. Or simply, as the size of the anion increases, covalent character increases. See, in 17th group, F minus, Cl minus, Br minus, I minus. Fluoride ion, chloride ion, bromide ion and iodide ion. See, fluoride ion is smaller than chloride ion, smaller than bromide ion, smaller than iodide ion. So therefore, as the size of the anion increases, covalent character increases. So this is order of ionic nature, ionic character. Now, fluorides are less covalent than chlorides, than bromides, than iodides. So this is order of covalent character. See, for example, NaF, NaCl, NaBr, NaI. Now, in all these compounds, sodium ion is there. So therefore, covalent character or ionic character do not depend on the cation, depend purely on anion. So as move from sodium fluoride to sodium iodide, ionic character decreases. Ionic character decreases. So therefore, NaI, the last compound, NaI is more covalent, or you can say less ionic. So that is why it is insoluble in water and readily soluble in non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvents. Okay. So this is second point. Third point. As charge on the ion as charge on, you can say, write separately, as charge on the cation increases, polarizing power increases. As charge on the anion increases, polarizability increases. So therefore, as the charge on the cation and charge on the anion increases, and covalent character increases. Simply, as charge on both, as charge on both increases, covalent character increases. See, for example, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, all these are present in the same period. Atomic number 11, atomic number 12, atomic number 13, atomic number 14. Now, chlorides, sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, MgCl2, aluminium chloride, AlCl3, silicon chloride, SiCl4. See here, Na plus is there, here Mg2 plus is there, Al3 plus is there, here Si4 plus. So as the charge on the cation increases, ionic character decreases. So therefore, NaCl is more ionic than MgCl2, than AlCl3, than SiCl4. So this is order of ionic nature. See, NaCl is more ionic. MgCl2 is also considered as ionic. AlCl3 in solid state covalent, but in aqueous solution it is ionic, and SiCl4 is covalent compound. See, actually, if SiCl4 is taken in water, it undergoes hydrolysis. It is insoluble in water, but it chemically reacts with water to give H2SiO3. SiCl4 plus H2O gives rise to H2SiO3, silicic acid, byproduct is HCl. You can balance the equation. Clear? So as the charge on both increases, covalent character increases. See, for example, MgCl2, MgO, Mg3N2. In all these compounds, Mg2 plus is common. Here Cl minus is there, so or you can take best F2, because fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, they are present in the same period. So you can take MgF2. F minus ion is present, O2 minus ion is present, N3 minus ion is present. Now here, charge on ion increases, charge on anion increases. Therefore, covalent character increases. So, MgF2 is less covalent than MgO than Mg3N2. So, this is order of covalent character. fourth point. Cation with pseudo inert gas configuration, pseudo noble gas configuration, possess covalent character or possess polarizing power, high polarizing power. See, for example, ZnCl2, CaCl2. In the previous lecture, we discussed the formation of ZnCl2 and CaCl2, right? Now, see, Zn2 plus Ca2 plus. Zn2 plus configuration is 3s2, 3p6, 3d10. Pseudo inert gas configuration. Whereas in Ca2 plus, configuration is 3s2, 3p6. Noble gas configuration. This is pseudo inert gas configuration. So therefore, it is more covalent. So therefore, ZnCl2 is covalent, whereas CaCl2 is ionic. Similarly, Ag plus ion has NS2 NP6 ND10 configuration, whereas potassium chloride, for example, K plus is NS2 NP6 configuration. So that is why AgCl is covalent and KCl is ionic compound. So in any compound, if cation has pseudo inert gas configuration, is said to be having more polarizing power. Therefore, cation with pseudo inert gas configuration is covalent, and those compounds are treated as covalent compounds. So these are very important Pagen's rules. Questions on these are very important for main examination.